Look who it is, they.
Oh, no heard that before.
I bet that's a new one, right?
Well, that and 2 pint chip.
It was funny when we were speaking earlier. You said it's as if people don't understand after all this time. It's not funny to be called a prick every day.
Yeah, well, I've been called a prick every day for 20 odd years, and people not understanding why you don't laugh at it. You know, it's kind of weird, and it's the way that people go, here, 2 pints, you prick.
Yeah.
and then they can't figure out why I'm not cracking up. And you're like, hey, how would you feel getting called a prick for 20 odd years? You know, I'm kind of over the joke. It doesn't bother me, but I just, you know, I'm not going to wet myself laughing. You know.
Has anyone ever said something that genuinely did crack you up when you met them?
No, really. Only that people generally say the same things. It's normally something that catches me off guard. Like years ago, I remember walking near Hampden, and a wee woman came up to me, and she said, "Excuse me, son, can I give you a hug?" And I was like, "What?" And she said, "Those 2 bastards are horrible to you." And she just gave me a big hug, and I thought, "Oh, thanks very much." She said, "You tell them to leave you alone."
Did you think it was a documentary? Or?
I don't know. Well, some members of the public get quite odd about things like that. I remember a friend of mine who was in Take the High Road, and he played a policeman in it. And I think his marriage had fallen apart, and he ended up staying in a wee disused croft and all that. And I was walking down the street one day, and a wee woman came over and sort of said, "She's a bitch, the way she's treated you." And if you're looking for, I've got a wee telly, I can give you a wee portable telly and stuff. Like, you do know that this is, you know.
Yeah, it's not real.
And people do get like that with Still Game, you know, all those kind of questions of what happened to Tam's Wayne. And, excuse me, I've got a question. Jenny's? Oh, you mean right when the pub changed its name? You do know it's no real, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Still Game's a wee bit like Tom and Jerry. You know, you kind of suspend your disbelief, and, you know, things happen to people and they bounce back up. You know, of course it's not real. You know, Paul Riley does have 2 legs. You know.
I actually, I don't know if we'll leave this in case I'm not allowed to say it, but I was told something by about Paul's foot. I don't know if you've caught wind of this.
Oh, that he's hurt his foot? Yeah, he has.
And
we've all been a bit worried.
Hurt his foot.
God, he's gone a bit method, hasn't he? Yeah. This is ridiculous. What am I going to do? Am I going to buy a bar?
So apparently he had, you know, had a sore foot, literally, and limping across the stage, you know, hats off to him actually working through it to still put on a show. But everyone thought, that's so funny. That's brilliant.
Yeah, because during shows when it's the 5 of us, there's a lot of time Paul, I'm doing it now. Paul demonstrates Winston's walk and how to do it. No, he doesn't need to demonstrate. He's went completely method. He's lost himself in the character. My darling, quite extraordinary commitment. Yes, absolutely. Whereas my commitment is just to drink as much as I can, like a barman. So yeah.
It's those kind of behind the scenes bits, I think, that crack people up even more than the show itself, because it makes it real and relatable. What's your funniest behind the scenes moment, you know, on set over the years? Or I imagine it's just constant hilarity.
I probably couldn't repeat some of them. And also, to be honest with you, as it went on, it did, like lots of work nowadays, it became you to do more work in a shorter time. So it became a wee bit of a sausage factory to a degree. In the earlier days, we had a lot more time and it was a lot more relaxed, and consequently, you had a lot more fun. But I don't know, there's so many things. I don't know about outrageous funny things off the top of my head that happened. One of my favourite things was the penultimate episode, Wadden. And that was special more than anything else than funny, just because it's my personal favourite episode.
Yeah, me too, actually. Winston and Winnie.
Aye,
what was her name? Winnie in that episode with the wheelchair, yeah.
And that's my favourite for many different reasons. One, it was like a gold watch for me that the boys gave me because I love music, so I got a chance to meet Midge and Clive Grogan and Amy MacDonald, who's a pal anyway, and it's great getting a kicking off of Amy.
There seems to be a theme actually with you or Bobby getting kicked or slapped, you know, with Margot,
particularly by women. Yeah, I know.
Bit of a punching
unlucky
bag
in love, and also getting thrown out by Claire, by the bouncers. But yeah, there was that, and then also it was me that came up with the idea of the Bluebells singing "Young at Heart."
Right.
So that was nice. But where we filmed that in the People's Palace in Glasgow is one of my favourite buildings and quite iconic. And I went to weddings there in the Winter Gardens and things. And it was a night shoot. And as long as you're not doing lots of night shoots,
can actually be quite fun.
Yeah, they can be quite a novelty. And because it was a beautiful moon,
really
beautiful
nicely
setting,
lit, and
it was gorgeous. And it was quite rare that it was all of us there, cast and crew. And nearly everybody in the cast was there that night. And it was quite magical. And I wouldn't insult your intelligence. Some people had a wee hip flash, some drink was taken.
Do you know that was a bit of method acting, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. It's a wedding after all.
Yeah. I mean, that episode touched me because it was a bit of a celebration of the show and the characters in it.
For me, in a way, it was another ending. I mean, it's one of the few eps that ends on a really happy note and really up. And everybody enjoying themselves and everybody mucking in together for Winston's wedding.
That's exactly it. A celebration of the friendship, which is ultimately what the show was always about.
About community and everybody bringing something to the table. So that night, spontaneously, when the Bluebell started singing Young at Heart, the whole place spontaneously, cast and crew, just started dancing. And everybody was laughing and smiling, but at the same time we were catching each other's eye, and there was this it was bittersweet, because we knew it was probably the last time we'd all be together, with the cans, so it was quite emotional evening. But to undercut that emotion, Greg Hempel had bought this stuff called liquid ass.
I'm familiar with that, yeah.
Oh, hello. Yeah, it is a familiar
couple of shots
Johnny.
on a night out, yeah.
And so it's
like a stink bomb, right?
Yeah, but now I have no sense of smell. I've never had a sense of smell. So I was terrible. I was standing going, what is it? Why is everybody nearly throwing up? Let's get on. People are going, and all that. I was just like, what's the problem? But it's apparently completely filthy, awful. But Greg was loving just walking about going, different areas, winding everybody up all night. But long-winded answer.
No, that's a good answer.
My favourite. Not so much kind of madness going on back there, but there was always madness. Really daft things. Another one I really love, which I think is in one of the few outtakes that we had on one of the DVDs, is Paul and Mark used to do brilliant. We all did wind-ups, but they used to do this thing that they go, "I've come up with an idea. Oh, what's that? Right. It's a village, right? A wee coastal village. And there's a giant shark appears, right? And it starts terror, and Coxie would go, whoa, Paul. I'm like, what? It's been done, mate. What do you mean it's been done? Like, Jaws. Like, oh, and then, so one day, they always had that. There's a guy comes for the future. And there's another guy, but the other guy is a robot. Like, whoa! What? It's been done. What are you talking? Terminator. Oh, Jesus! But this time he did it, and it was somebody said, "What are you working on, Paul?" He said, "It's actually a television series, but it's set. It's Dutch. It's set in Amsterdam. It's a detective. It's getting somebody went, whoa! You're talking about Vanderwalt?" And Paul went, "No, it's called Clever Clogs." Brilliant.
Love it. And so you said that was almost like a final episode for you to go back a little bit. The actual final episode, the finale, for lack of a better word, did you film that last, or was that had already been filmed before?
It was out of sequence,
right?
As most of it is. For instance, like the Klansman would take up about a fortnight of a year for
just doing all the Klansmen shoots,
all the Klansmen together, which people hated. And even though it was the boys that wrote it, but they said it was we used to call it the Somme.
Wow,
because
okay.
you just they would write. Sometimes these scenes lasted nearly 19 pages, so they were big, long scenes, and I would be first in and last out and stuff. But when we came to that, it was a very unusual scene. And again, it was a bit like the Hydro. In the Hydro, I had the very first words to say in front of everybody, and I was given the last words to say in the TBCs, which was a huge responsibility. But the funny thing about that was that I had to keep it a secret. I knew for about a year and a half, and I found out by accident one morning going to work with Greg. And I was becoming aware that out of all the cast, everybody was growing into their parts and getting older and needed less makeup. I was getting older, needing more makeup,
Right.
Boabby, because he was meant to be younger. So I mentioned to Greg that I think we should be greying up Boabby a wee bit, just putting
To show the
some streaks and just aging him slightly. And Greg went, no. And I was like, well, okay, you don't need to be quite so hard to it. He went, no, I'll tell you why. And so he started explaining this story that at the end of the day, said Boabby will be an old man. He never leaves Craig Lang. And he ends his days in the Klansman. And he told it very eloquently and very beautifully. And I got a huge lump in my throat. I thought it was quite tragic. Actually, it's beautiful, but tragic.
Yeah.
Here was this guy who...
A bit limited
and
almost.
also, as Jane expanded on as well, at one point, she said, yeah, when you think about it, you think, Bobby's went to every single one of their funerals. He saw them all pass.
Yeah.
And he's probably
That's
had
what hit me.
a wake in the Klansman for every single one of them.
That's
It's quite
exactly what got me.
heartbreaking.
When I saw that last scene, Look Who It Isnae, I don't know, and I don't even know if you'll know this in a way, that line always meant cheery, look who it isn't, welcome. But finally, when you said it that time, it was look who's not here. And fuck, I cried. I cried my eyes out watching that. And it was just, suddenly it had a whole different meaning. Look who it isn't.
It's funny, lots of people have different theories about it. It's interesting. For a while, I refused to talk about it. I like the ambiguity of it. And some people would say, oh, I think he's talking to Tams Wayne. That's the one who survived, probably. And somebody came up with a weird one at a gig the other week. I can't remember now. But there's lots and lots of theories. But that's the nicest, and you're the most spot on, actually. That for me, because it's the one and only time the fourth wall was broken as well. So for me to look directly down the lens, it was it was a way of saying goodbye, and it was also a way of giving thanks.
Yeah,
to people, and so it
was a wee friendly nod to the audience as well.
I was directly talking to the audience. If you're going to break the wall, break the wall.
And it really did.
I was talking to you, hopefully, and that's how I saw it. But when we came to do it, it was so strange because it was unlike any other morning that normally a lot of us would be picked up together. On that day, I was taken alone in a taxi, which was strange. Got to set, nobody else was there yet. It was first thing that day. Went into makeup, got made up as old Boabby. They walked me onto set, and hardly anybody would look at me. And all the crew, and you've got to remember, a lot of that crew, we've all been together since the start.
For a long time.
So a lot of people just kind of nodded respectfully and bowed their head.
A bit like a funeral or something,
This is really strange, And walked into Klansman, they'd rehearsed the shot so it wouldn't take a lot of time. And because it was a big dolly shot, went on, they were like, okay, Gav, do you want to rehearse? You want to just go for it? I went, let's just go for it. I'm like, okay. Pardon me. And we did it in one take. Because I'm fucking brilliant. No, we did it one take, but you always...
It was the sincere
do
one,
another, for safety. And the makeup girl I just worked with recently in a Thriller thing I've just finished, came in and she said, I thought she'd just check my wig and give me a wee powder for the second take. And she turned me away from everybody, my back to everyone, and I was kind of looking at it, and I felt her put something in my hand. I thought, what's that? And I looked down, and it was a tissue.
Oh.
And I looked at her and kind of like, what? And she just went like that. I'm like, what? And I was crying, and I didn't realise that I had been. We did the second take, walked off, and Michael Hines, director, was crying. Liz Sherry, who did continuity, was crying. Virtually everybody was in tears. And as I came out, Greg and Ford appeared as Jack and Victor. They had now come on set in costume. And Greg came up to me and went, were you greeting? I went, yeah, wee bit. And he just gave me a big hug. Oh. He went, you stupid bastard, and hugged me. And then when he let go of me and came back, I could just see tears in his eyes. And I thought, yes, job done.
Got him.
Got them all. So, yeah. So it was very emotional. Oh. And as I always say, saying farewell to the Klansman's a wee bit like Doctor Who saying farewell to his TARDIS. It's gonna. Yeah, it's a huge part of your life.
And it represents, as you say, community, family, friends. It is just, it's comfort, and then it's reminding you that actually we're not all here forever. And
well, I think
that hits hard.
Mum summed it up very beautifully, actually, who's sadly no longer here either. But she said, you know, darling, that's what happens. You just fade away. We all just fade away. And I think it does that rather beautifully.
Tasteful as well.
Yeah.
But still powerful.
Yeah. Because there was lots of speculation. Will there be a big death, or will it be this? And no,
it was more.
I think it's more
intelligent
this is life,
than that, wasn't it?
This is how it goes. So much so that, dare I say it, I think it's quite an obvious lift. But the final episode of Afterlife, when you watch it, I think is like, that's a bit of a coincidence. How Ricky Gervais decided to end the series, I thought was slightly cheeky. You know, that didn't come from nowhere, I don't think. But
And so we're here today at Neospace in Studio 10 for the launch of what we're calling Neo Sessions, new thing that we're doing to celebrate podcasting and other kind of up and coming, or it's not so up and coming anymore, but a new art form, a new media form. It's yourself, you know, we're here to talk about it. And for me, it's nice because we've got a panel of 5 people, including yourself, all Scottish.
yeah,
We've got musicians, actors, sports players, bit of everything. And we're going to have a lot of fun. One thing that I'd like to do for anyone that can't make it to the event and they're watching this back after the fact is we went through a couple of, now for legal reasons, would I tell you the truth prompts.
Oh, yes.
the famous TV show. And you sent me a couple and they were really, really funny. Now, this will be going out after the fact, so it's not going to ruin it for anyone here tonight. We've picked your cue card as the Sean Connery one, let's say.
Okay.
For the viewers at home, streaming this everywhere, can you deliver your Sean Connery, would I tell you the truth prompt to the camera, straight down the lens, and tell us, if you're listening, do you think this is a true story or a false story in the comments?
Many years ago, I was given a personal letter, passed on a personal letter in a sealed envelope from Sir Sean Connery. I thought it was an autograph or a wee surprise, but when I opened it, it said, "My dearest Gavin, if I hear any more of you impersonating me, you'll be hearing from my lawyers. Best wishes, Sean Connery." I was threatened by Sean Connery's lawyers for impersonating him. True or false?
Was that true?
It was, actually, true. Sean Connery did threaten me with his lawyers. And it was funny, I thought, because then people didn't really impersonate Sean Connery. It was quite an unusual thing. And he just won the Oscar for The Untouchables. And there was rumours that he was coming to the Citizen Theatre in Glasgow, depending if he get knocked out of a golf tournament. He didn't. But then he turned up out the blue, and I had gone to see my girlfriend in London at the time, and when I got to her door, the phone went, Gav, Sean Connery's come tomorrow. And I was like, oh no! And I spent our whole birthday walking about saying to people, do you think it's really bad if I go back to Glasgow tomorrow? And then they were like, no, not Sean Connery, and he's just won the Oscar. But as luck would have it, I woke up and I had this terrible flu. And then people kept phoning me and saying, oh my God, and tell me all these brilliant stories. It's just like you imagined. He's built that brick shit house.
And you're thinking, well, thank God I wasn't there.
And he's like, oh, he brought in a magnum of champagne. He had time for everybody and photographed. I'm like, oh, fuck off. And then somebody said, oh, he's left something for you. Because I think a lot of people were saying there's a guy who'd love to have been here tonight who impersonates you. And then it was about the 5th person went to say it to him. And he went, give me a piece of paper. And he went, oh, he went, give me that, an envelope. And just went, give him that. And then it's just like,
oh, okay. God, and that's what it was?
And that's what it was.
Oh, wow,
and
okay.
so I opened it and went, oh my God.
Yeah, a lot of time for you.
I said, oh, what's that? And then people said, I don't know if that is a joke. You never know with Connery. You know, he had such a reputation for litigation.
Being a bit litigious. And so before we go and jump downstairs and get cracking, what are you up to now? What's going on in the life of not Boabby, but Gavin?
Gavin. What am I up to? Well, I'm here in good old Aberdeen, fit like, of course. And then, there's, what am I doing? Quite a few things. We're about to start a tour of the 5 of us, all pals. And people have to know we're about to, we're doing various places in September. all over the place, in Aberdeen, Dundee, Edinburgh, Festival Theatre, Kings in Glasgow, lots of places. Then get on to next year, where I think we open in Aberdeen, I believe, but we're then going down south. We're doing Manchester, Liverpool, various other places. So that's quite exciting.
And it's yourself, Mark, Paul,
Jane,
Paul,
and Sanjeev. Mate, 5 of us, yeah. So Tam, Isa, Naveed, Winston, and Boabby. So yeah. And then I'm currently working on doing my own solo show next year, which will be a kind of evening which we've been doing little bits of round about Aberdeenshire the past few weeks, actually, just getting it into shape a bit.
With the guys from Breakneck, is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But I'll be doing it with different people, sort of expanding the show.
Sure, a little bit of everything.
So,
and where can people find you if they want to go and get tickets for those or for the upcoming ones?
It'll be in social media we're working on it just now. We don't have actual dates yet, but you can certainly get dates for the old pals and people have to know are all in social media if you look it up in ticket links. My own show, don't have certain dates yet, but that will be like, it'll just be me talking about my life, how I get into acting, and more kind of serious side of things, but more in life and about mental health and various things that I've always been very passionate about. And then there'll be a section, of course, of just Q&A and things, and hopefully we'll have short films and some photos that people have never seen.
Wow, okay.
Various things and little clips and old ads that I used to do from 30 odd years ago in America and stuff like that. So, and some old videos of some of us that maybe, yes, well, I can't say too much. So that and working on my own documentary, trying to get a documentary off the ground about something I'm very passionate about libraries and literature and the transformative power of books and why we have to look after our libraries and why they're vital in our communities.
Yeah, use it or lose it, right?
And essential, yeah, definitely use it or lose it. And they've been under attack as they always are. And I think if you attack things like that, apart from architecturally, some of these places are incredible, Andrew Carnegie buildings, but also you're taking away people's dreams and you're taking away people's potential. Yeah,
the freedom to have knowledge and access to info.
And it tends to be in a lot of places that are already under attack that don't need it. They're taking away community centres, etc. And now you're going to take away that.
It's a real pillar of
the chance to get out of your situation, a chance for self-improvement, self-empowerment. So I'm very passionate about that. So far we've got a lot of people involved who are kind of behind it, from writers themselves like Irvin Welsh, Ian Rankin, Denise Mina, Mark Miller from Marvel and stuff, to celebrities like Midge Ure, Keith Primer Jones, all sorts of people, and spent a lovely afternoon with Sir Billy Connolly, who's also very, very, very passionate about libraries and books. So hopefully we'll get a commission and she'll go into that. And again, about my own personal life and why libraries kind of saved me and how I'm self-educated and how I wouldn't be here actually without libraries in many ways.
Yeah, so, it's important.
So, and apart from that, you can see me popping up here and there. I think I'm on crime in the next week or so.
Not doing crime.
Not yet.
It's not your new hobby.
I'm hiding out in Aberdeen.
That's all anyone gets up to.
And another thing called Night Sleeper, which we've just completed, which is a big thriller for BBC, which is quite spectacular, directed by... oh God, I forgot Jamie's full name now. Jamie Magnus Stone. I worked with his father years ago, who's quite famous for doing Doctor Who recently. Doctor Who. But it's a very exciting thriller. I can't say too much, but it's littered with lots of familiar faces through Alex Ferns, Sharon Rooney, James Cosmo.
Oh my!
Lots of
love him.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of this as well. And if on the off chance one of our listeners is interested in helping on the commission side of things, because God knows everyone listens to podcasts nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where can they reach out to you about helping out, supporting that?
Well, you can get me, probably best places is on social media, really, on Twitter or... Just
your full name?
Yeah, it's all there. Well, it's Gavster #1 on Twitter. That wasn't my choice. I was an old man when somebody put me on Twitter. I said, what do you do with the Twitter? How does it work, the Twitter, the tweeting and all that? Does Jackie Bird... Here's a question for you. Does Jackie Bird tweet? I'm terrible. It's not even panto season. And so yeah, somebody else gave me that handle. Wasn't my choice, my darlings. But yeah, there's always ways. If you want to get me, you can get me. Or through my agent, Caroline de Wolf at Felix de Wolf, my darlings. Mwah. Yeah. Says more about you than cash ever can. But yeah, if anybody would like to get involved, please get involved, because I think especially a library is incredibly important. You know, it's you're investing in our future. You know,
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah.
And our past, actually.
Yeah. Well, yeah, all part of archives, etc. And especially when you live in a world where, you know, people say, yeah, but you don't need book. You know, you've got...
No, it's tribal knowledge, isn't it?
It's nonsense, you know, because at least if you go into a library, it's kind of fact-checked.
Yeah.
You're not just going down
Wikipedia
wormholes.
Edited by Jamie, who's, you know...
There was a whale in Union Street, and, you know, it's kind of whatever... and also, people don't tend to read a lot nowadays, in terms, including myself. You know, that we're on our phones
audio
and we look at headlines, and you read a headline. Have you heard? You know, but
you don't actually deep dive it.
Go further than that. And then a lot of the time, when you do go further than that, you realise it's catfishing and
clickbait.
Clickbait, sorry, catfishing. Yeah.
I've got you. Clickbait.
Clickbait, thank you. Track me down with a kid. Do you play the PlayStation? And clickbait. And you go on it and you find out there actually is no real story.
Yeah.
A lot of the time it's utter nonsense, you know. So trying to get to truths and anymore is quite difficult. And again, I think that's what's brilliant about libraries. That and they're a physical...
staple
thing, and you find something and it leads you on to something else, and also for a lot of people it's community again, and it's interaction with people. A lot of people, it's their only point of interaction is going to a library,
human
meeting
contact,
someone, given a hand to fill out forms, or you know, there's so many important things there that you don't get from just sitting in front of a screen.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Rant over, I'm sorry.
And so tonight actually is all about stories as well, and we've deliberately not told you that much about it, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So why don't you see us out with that iconic line, the same way that Still Game ended, right down the lens.
Look who it isnae.
That's a wrap. Thanks for watching.